What's up, Red Devils fans? Today we've got big news. Ruben Amorim sets his sights on Old Trafford, Maguire stuns Lyon with a last-minute winner, and find out which 4 stars Sir Alex Ferguson would have loved to manage, including one Man City icon. Let's get into it. Ruben Amorim makes Man United priority clear as he reveals Premier League decision. Manchester United earned their place in the Europa League semi-finals in dramatic circumstances at Old Trafford, and the success will have an impact on their Premier League plans. Ruben Amorim has revealed that he will utilize the club's youth players in the Premier League after establishing Manchester United's season priority. The Portuguese coach has admitted that Red Devils' focus must now be on Europa League success after his side earned their place in the competition's semi-final. United next face Athletic Bilbao after a remarkable night at Old Trafford. Amorim's team looked set to coast through the quarter-final after goals from Manuel Ugarte and Diogo Dalot gave the home side an advantage. Second-half strikes from Corentin Tolisso and Nicolas Tagliafico forced extra time, where, despite being down to 10 men, Lyon took the lead through Ryan Cherki and an Alexander Lacazette penalty. But United produced an extraordinary comeback to score 3 goals in 7 minutes. Bruno Fernandes first reduced the deficit from the spot before a smart 120th minute finish from Kobbie Mainoo leveled the score. Harry Maguire produced heroics to avoid penalties and send the ground into jubilation in stoppage time. And with the possibility of achieving Champions League qualification with success in Europe, Amorim's attention is firmly on overcoming Athletic in the next round. The Basque side knocked out Rangers on Thursday night and will fancy their own chances of success. But United can hope for little return from their Premier League finish, with the club in 14th place. Amorim is keen to take advantage of the remaining games to blood young stars. He said, "It is one type of moment that can change a lot of things. These kind of moments can change a lot in the player's mind. We have to be really focused on the Europa League, and we have to take a risk with the kids in the Premier League. We have to be tough on that, and the fans have to understand our focus is on the Europa League." Amorim also already has a little insight into United's semi-final opponents. "I played against them in pre-season with Sporting. I know a little bit," he said. "Of course, it is a different moment, and we know they are really technical. They have 2 wingers who are really good. We will have time to assess all the characteristics of the opponent, and we need to focus a lot on what we need to do until that game, because we need to. Especially if you look at the team in the moments at the end of the second half, the team was really tired, and you can feel it with some players. Bruno Fernandes today was a little bit tired." Victor Lindelöf's reason for leaving Man United early against Lyon explained by Amorim. Victor Lindelof was forced to leave Old Trafford early on Thursday night due to a personal issue which saw Ruben Amorim forced to change his plans against Lyon. Ruben Amorim's strategy for the Lyon clash was chucked into disarray after Victor Lindelof had to dash off from Old Trafford due to a personal issue. Manchester United pulled off an epic turnaround to clinch a 7-6 aggregate victory over the French outfit and book their spot in the Europa League semi-finals, all without Lindelof there to see the magic unfold. United were cruising with a 2-0 lead at halftime thanks to net busters from Manuel Ugarte and Diogo Dalot, but then found themselves on the wrong end of a 4-2 scoreline in extra time, teetering on the brink of a colossal upset. However, with Lyon a man down following Corentin Tolisso's sending off, United sparked into life and staged a legendary fightback. Bruno Fernandes buried a penalty, Kobbie Mainoo whipped one into the far post, and Harry Maguire knotted home the decider, keeping United's dreams kicking. It was a bonkers finish to an unforgettable evening at Old Trafford that was anything but plain sailing for Amorim. Nasser Mazraoui got subbed out for Luke Shaw when the second half kicked off, but as Amorim spilled the beans later, he'd actually been hoping to bring on Lindelof. "We had a problem with Nuss at halftime, and Vic had a personal problem and he had to leave, so all this stuff happened during this game, but in the end it was a good game," he dished out to TNT Sports. Lindelof's mysterious vanishing act from the subs bench after limbering up at halftime threw a spanner in the works for United. Shaw was chucked into the fray, clocking up way more minutes than the 30 Amorim had earmarked for him post-injury, reports the Mirror. The gaffer had to whip up a plan on the fly, and despite Shaw giving away a penalty that let Lacazette bag Lyon's second, things panned out all right in the end. Amorim got crafty in extra time, shoving Maguire up top to cash in on his aerial prowess, a move that paid off when the England centre-back knotted home the decider off Casemiro's delivery, hot on the heels of Mainoo's leveller. At halftime in extra time we had to change the positions to try to be really clear about the position of Harry Maguire, Amorim detailed. Try to put Case Moreau near the goal, Kobbie Mainoo near the goal, Mason Mount across balls and try to explain that we need to score one goal and anything can change, so it is pushing on with the team. Of course, it is a difficult moment and then we have to be really lucky to change the game, and this was the case today. With the backline stretched thin, Martinez, De Ligt, Heaven, and Evans all out of the picture, Amorim's crossing his fingers for a few fit defenders before the semi-final showdown with Athletic Bilbao come May 1st. McTominay and Zirkzee react after Maguire's dramatic winner for Man United versus Lyon. Manchester United qualified for the last four of the Europa League last night following a 7-6 aggregate win over French club Lyon. The Red Devils shared the spoils, 2-2, against Les Gonnes on the road last week. United were favourites to secure a victory at Old Trafford, but they made things tough for themselves. The club had a comfortable 2-0 lead at the break, but Lyon managed to pull level in the second half. Despite being a man down for extra time, Les Gonnes surprised the United faithful with two more goals. The Red Devils managed to make a sensational comeback with goals from Bruno Fernandes, Kobbie Mainoo and Harry Maguire. Maguire played as an emergency striker during the closing stages and scored a dramatic late winner to avoid a penalty shootout. Shortly after the game, the £13 million-rated star took to Instagram to describe his pleasure over the winning moment. Former United star and Napoli midfielder Scott McTominay was one of those who responded with a clap and shocked face emoji. McTominay scored plenty of late winners during his time at United and will have enjoyed Maguire's match-defining moment. Joshua Zirkzee, who is out for the season with a hamstring injury, was also pleased for Maguire. He replied with fire emojis. United looked down and out at 4-2 last night until Case Moreau won a penalty which was easily converted by Fernandes. Mainoo came up with a splendid finish to pull United level, but Maguire grabbed the headlines with a memorable late winner. United's 7-6 aggregate win will be written in the history books. They will now face Athletic Bilbao in a double-legged semi-final. Manager Ruben Amorim has already hinted that he may risk academy players for the rest of the Premier League campaign. It seems the right thing to do, as winning the Europa League is the club's only route to Champions League football next term. For players Sir Alex Ferguson would love to have managed, including Man City icon. Sir Alex Ferguson managed many incredible footballers during his 27-year tenure with Manchester United, including Cristiano Ronaldo, but there are some he never got the chance to work with. Sir Alex Ferguson has named a Tottenham Hotspur stalwart and a Manchester City fan favourite among the players he wished he could have worked with at Manchester United. The legendary Scott, 83, who enjoyed a trophy-laden 27-year tenure with the Red Devils between 1986 and 2013, had the chance to work with and develop a number of the world's greatest footballers of all time. The likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, and Ruud van Nistelrooy are a handful of names that Ferguson molded into superstars. However, there are a number of others that the manager wished he could have brought to Old Trafford. Speaking to Gary Neville via Sport Bible's YouTube channel, Ferguson said, "Well, I think Harry Kane. I thought Dele Alli was going to be a top player. I must admit, I don't know what's happened there. But Kane and the boy Son Heung-min at Tottenham, these are excellent players. Sergio Aguero has been a terrific striker. There's no doubt about that. His goal scoring has been exceptional. And I think that the top teams will always produce a player that can stand out, and I think that those two in particular, Kane and Aguero." The news of Ferguson rating Aguero so highly may leave some Red Devils fans with a funny feeling, given their fierce rivalry with Manchester City, the club that the Argentine played for 10 years and remains their all-time record goalscorer. After making a name for himself at Independiente, Aguero moved to Atletico Madrid in 2006, spending 5 years in Spain before a £35 million move to the Etihad. During his time in the northwest of England, Aguero scored 260 goals and provided 64 assists in 390 games, clinching a quintet of Premier League titles and a decade of domestic cups. He then spent 7 months with Barcelona before announcing his retirement in December 2021. Kane, Son and Dele Alli, meanwhile, all played for Spurs during their primes, making a name for themselves with an abundance of goals and assists in the absence of any major trophies. Kane scored 280 goals in 435 games for the Lily-Whites between 2010 and 2023 before signing for Bayern Munich, where he still plies his trade. Ali was signed to Spurs from MK Dons in 2015, playing for the club for 7 years before making the move to Everton, spending a season on loan with Besiktas, and signing for Como in January on a free transfer. Meanwhile, Son signed for Spurs in 2015 and remains with the club at present. With 173 goals and 96 assists to his name from 451 appearances, the South Korean forward has been a standout in an otherwise struggling Spurs side who currently languish in 15th in the Premier League standings, with just 11 wins from 32 games in 2024-25.